Good evening, welcome to Talking Points. My name is Levi Kones, and here we're going to be discussing about matters to do, especially with the BBI today. Big topic we are asking is it banning or building bridges? And with regards, of course, to what's been happening in the nation and seeing what has been happening with the different factions concerning this document. To join me in this conversation and to unpack it and delve into it and go into all the discussions that are out there, three gentlemen who are my residence panelists. By the way, I want to invite you to send in your text messages on WhatsApp so that we can be able to read them even as we continue. The numbers on your screen, and you can be able to send them in. We will look at them after a little bit, after a while, and we'll be able to read them. Extreme left, Cornelius Chepsoi, karibu sana.
Asante. You know the bridges are really burning.
And Muricho Joash, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. I thank you for having me again. I missed you guys.
Good to see you here.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. And Solomon Kuria.
Yes, this is 2020.
2020, yes. Glad to have you guys here.
Yeah.
Now, there's a big meeting in Mombasa on Saturday. And last week it looked like that meeting was only going to be attended by some people. We saw what happened over the weekend in Buhungu Stadium. There are allegations from what is now known as the Tanga side that the meeting in Buhungu was only about an individual. We had the deputy president come out and say that all that was being said there was just Ruto and Sugoi, and there seemed to be no agenda. We have seen that they have come on board and said, you know, going forward we'll be together. And we are coming in so that we can set the agenda and make sure that we bring the topic back to the center. And Junet Mohammed replied, he said, you're very welcome. But if you're bringing chaos, you know, we will deal with you, again, cacophoniously. With all that as a backdrop, what are we looking at come Saturday? What's happening to BBI? Are we making progress? Are we building? Or are we burning? Are we going to be happy on Saturday, or will it be chaotic? Solomon?
I think it will be good to see leaders first building bridges amongst themselves. That should be the first thing. And we have always seen some people trying to say that. Even before we tell Wananchi that we are building bridges for them, can we first build bridges for ourselves? And what I wanted to see on Saturday is all leaders sharing the podium and speaking and sticking to the issue BBI. All of them. No Jubilee, no ODM, no ANC, no Ford Kenya, no Wiper, no nothing else. BBI. And I think today there have been several pressers from different sides. We have seen Junet, we have seen Kanini Kega, we have seen other different people declaring on what they would wish to have. You know, telling others don't come with conditions, others saying we are going to come, you know. They are preparing, you know, they're trying to lower the tensions amongst themselves. That's what I think they want to do. But what I want to say is that still, sometimes politicians do not benefit when there are no crises. So there are some people who would still want there to be some crisis so that they can benefit.
From both ends?
From both ends. Some people, whether from Tagatanga or Kieleweke, wouldn't want there to be calmness when it comes to BBI. They would still want there to be, you know, some crisis so that they can benefit in one way or the other. And we know that's what happens. So whenever people agree on an issue, because if you look at the BBI, what is there to differ about? What is it in the BBI that me and you should differ about? There's no much. The BBI is such a good document that is agreeable to all of us. And leaders should first show us that.
So it'd be nice to see them build.
Yeah, that's what I want
amongst
to see
themselves,
them building the bridges amongst themselves first.
Mauricio?
I was in Kakamega over the weekend. And
I thought I saw you.
Yeah, I was there personally, and I saw what is happening in this country. That two things are happening that leaders are quickly discovering that BBI was not about leaders, but it was about the people. That it's time we brought together our people for the benefit of the coming generations. And number two, people have begun to discover, and that has been witnessed today and yesterday, that BBI is not about 2022, but it's about the future of this country. That 2022 will come and go. We'll have 2027, we'll have 2023.
It's interesting you say that.
It's
Can you just tell
going-
you,
it's going
I had
to be
some
that
young
way.
men today on a morning show that I did from the university
Yes.
who said that BBI seems to be about the wazés.
Actually,
that
that's
they
not
do
the-
not feel at all in any way touched by the BBI.
Whoever is saying that, and I've discovered also that there is also one big problem in this country, but I think we are addressing it with time as we move forward. The problem is that most of the people who are opposing the BBI and who are giving contrary opinions about BBI is that they don't understand what the document is all about. And these meetings that we are having, someone was saying that we are losing a lot of money, we are wasting money on this, is to empower people with knowledge. You know, information is power.
Oh.
That what is this BBI all about? And I saw that evidently when I was in Kakamega, that those people who didn't know initially what BBI was all about came to understand on that day that actually BBI was
Okay,
about
so what would you like to see
building
on
this
Saturday?
nation.
Before I bring
What
it
I
to
want to
sorry.
see on Saturday is that I want to see clean hands. That those people who are joining the BBI on Saturday, and they've not been there, they've been opposing it all along. They've been giving contrary opinion. No, they've been there, but with contrary opinions. We saw what happened in Bomas of Kenya. Up and open the outright opposed to BBI. We've been seeing them in rallies in Matangas and in church harambes opposing BBI. That wow, we're wasting money on this. This is about creating positions for people. This is about and we've seen them and we've heard them.
I have questions.
So
but
as they come to
I'll pick
as they
up
come
on
to
that because I want to
Mombasa,
ask you something
as
concerning
they come
Bomas
to Mombasa,
moving forward and what
let them
people saw.
put all their cards on the table. Let them come knowing that this is about peace, and let them not divide this country further.
Yeah, I have an issue with the let them come because, but I'll come back to you on that.
Levi, I hope you first realize that my two brothers who defend BBI a lot, they keep saying that this thing is not about politicians. But if you listen to this conversation carefully, they are actually telling you it's politician-centered. Because the pressers that you've seen today and yesterday, from mostly the Tanga and the ones who responded to them, are basically discussing themselves. They're discussing whether they are welcome or not, whether they are going to cause chaos or not. It's what we are doing even now. Because in the end, this thing is about the politician. If this thing was about the people, we should be reading that document. And that's why those young people are telling you this thing is about the wazis. Remember what they promised, that they would actually give people the opportunity to read for themselves. So a lot of the time, people underrate the ability of Kenyans to interpret things for themselves, to read for themselves, and to make their own choices. I mean, I listened to the group of Murkomen that came out to talk about people. First, they've said they're not opposed, which we all know. For whatever the reason, they are speaking from both sides of their mouth. That's number one. Number two, when you listen to others who are now telling them come slowly, it's people who actually, as Solomon put it rightfully, that for a politician, you have got to have some level of chaos for this thing to make sense. Because to a politician, publicity is publicity, whether good or negative. It doesn't matter. But wherever there's friction, the politician benefits. If BBI was to be agreed, like the deputy president wants us to believe, that everybody agrees with it and that there's no opposition to it, it would die. It would die, I am telling you. And that's the strategy that Tanga has tried to adopt. All right? So these people expect us to.
Yeah, I just want to bring the question that you know.
I just want to answer him before he forgets.
Just
before
let me
he
finish.
forgets.
No, wait, do not answer him yet.
Yeah. So if Tanga side of the political equation was to actually agree or keep quiet, what else will be left in this BBI? Remember the constitution writing before Moi left. And if you remember the famous words of Michuki, when we were discussing constitutional amendments, he said, tulikuwa tunataka kubadilisha hii katiba kwa sababu ya Moi. Moi ameenda. What do we need a constitutional amendment for? That's the problem that lies in Kenya.
So we have a history of doing these things for individuals. I just want to ask, the backdrop of 2022, cannot be ignored. It is there. We know there is one gentleman who has openly declared, says many times, the deputy president, he's set to take over the mantle from the president. Raila Odinga has not said so, but his mannerism suggests so, or the mannerisms of the people around him, you know, the way they speak about it, the way they, you know, the ideas about, you know, how this thing is going to go, you can tell. We also have other individuals there who are angling for the presidency. The Mudavadis, the Weta, Kalonzo, you name him, Alfred
Please
Mutua, all the other guys.
Don't count those guys. They are not going to feature anywhere.
On this show, I cannot personally trash them once they put their foot out there.
They are leaders, actually.
They're leaders.
They're leaders. Trashing them the way
They're
he's
leaders.
doing
And yet,
means he doesn't
yet
respect.
these guys are supposed to come together and,
They are waiting for a Nigerian
agree
phone
on a document that in some way, away from the other 9 agendas, you know, I don't think anybody has a problem. Like you said, most of the agendas seem good, except this one of some power sharing, maybe some seats, maybe division of here and there. And is that where the big problem is? Because nobody else seems to be talking about anything else.
That
I'll
is
start with
what
this.
BBI really is.
I'll start with this. Number one, that when people sit together, come together and discuss about the future of the country, they sit together to discuss about peace and processes of such, it has to be political. It's the political leaders who will begin to discuss it. And actually, that is a political process. I don't dispute that BBI is a political process, but it's a political process to rebuild and reconstruct this nation, correct where our mistakes have been, historical injustices, political, the electoral injustices that we've been suffering in this country, that no more bloodshed after an election.
Okay, point taken. Solomon, can you overcome that backdrop?
Before that was just for him. But you set a question. That the question was that should we ignore the idea of 2022 in this? I have a problem with people who are bringing this idea of 2022 in a document, or rather in a process that is aiming at changing the laws of this country for a longer period of time.
Yet it is there. Somebody must.
Let's not have this at our nose. Let's think for the future of this country. If we bring this debate to the level of 2022 elections, that's where we lose the
Is it
direction of
realistic,
this country.
Solomon?
It is very realistic to think that someone will be trying to have what we would call a litmus test for 2022 politics. You would be very right to say that all those people you mentioned, including Wetangula, who to me is a wise man, all of them will be trying to show how much they can speak, what they can do, and all that. If we go back, you know, history, we must always judge ourselves with the history. 2005, you know, Raila Amolo Odinga used 2005 referendum as a litmus test for 2007.
To birth the Orange Party.
And let me tell you, because 2005 referendum failed on the side of the government, Raila almost took the seat in 2007. Then we came to 2010. William Ruto was on the other side. Not because he was so much opposed to the constitution. No, he knew Raila was together with Kibaki, Mudavadi was there, Gilu was there, Kalonzo was there, Uhuru Kenyatta was there. He knew he was facing a giant, but he opted to say no to the constitution and ended up with 2 million votes which opposed the constitution. So when it came to going to the negotiation table in 2012, he said, look, these are my followers, 2 million.
2 million of them.
Yes, these are my people.
Politics.
Look, we must not be able to separate the two, and it cannot happen. What is happening today is politicians, if you talk to them, they will tell you, we are killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Let us change the constitution, yes, but how do we benefit, you know, personally? How do our interests get taken care of in this BBI process? In this BBI process, you have seen people coming out, people you have not seen. I mean, like the Nyeri member of parliament is so popular today, Gojiri Wambogo. We have seen people like Kanini Kega taking strong positions and emerging as people you would call regional spokespersons and all that. We have seen people who are building themselves with this referendum. We have seen the Ukambani people, you know, the 3 governors uniting against Kalonzo and trying to block him in the preparations of the meetings at Ukambani. We have seen Oparanya blocking Akina Mudavadi and Wetangula.
There's even a fight for who is going to lead.
You see, whoever mobilized, let me finish. Whoever mobilized people to get to Buhungu, Buhungu Stadium is and Wetangula and Mudavadi were in.
Is it a lie? There's no competition. That's what you're saying.
Were to go to Mumias. What I would say, let me finish. Let me make my point.
I don't think you're being honest.
I don't want the commission to be biased. What I'm saying is, the BBI is there and we are all agreeing on it.
Yeah.
Well,
Correct.
I don't.
Politicians
Please, I don't.
That is me. That is me. Politicians
Say I.
must
Oh, that's the Punguza
must
Mzigo guy.
work out a way
Yeah.
to benefit from the process. And that is why you see Wetangula, Mudavadi, because I'm saying them because they are the latest. Wetangula, Mudavadi, Oparanya. They are trying to show that actually, when it comes to the Luhya land, I am the one who owns this document more than anyone else. You go to Coast, you have Joho. You come to Central, you will find some other people trying to show like they're the ones who own this document. Those are politicians trying to own the document in their own ways and trying to emerge that like they are the spokespersons. You have seen people also declaring, like Waiguru now, she has said she is the coordinator when it comes to the national. We have seen, but you see, let me tell you.
Even in Kakamega.
Let me tell you,
in Western.
The only problem is this.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to say.
Yeah, finish up.
And I'm very sure the president and the prime minister are considering this. There are the governors, yes. But after the governors, there are other 4 leaders. The women rep, the senator, the member of parliament, and the MCA. Where are they? And they also need to feel like they own the process. Other than that, there are other lobby groups. Where are the youth?
Okay, I'll pause it
Anyway,
there.
that's
No,
that.
you'll come back because we need to take a quick break.
No.
We have to
Mine
pay
is
the
very
bills.
short.
We've got to pay. No. We've got to pay the bills. We're taking a break on this note. We'll be right back after these messages with that short one from you.
Everyone deserves a little luck in their lives, no matter the situation. So go for it and believe in yourself. Giamini Leo. Win up to 100 million shillings and realize your dreams. Giamini ni wakati wako. Cheza Lotto. Send 50 shillings to paybill 77700. Account name Cast TV. Over 18s only. Gaming can be addictive. Play responsibly. This message has been approved by the BCLB.
Best you get stepping. Because if you pay your DSTV subscription now, we'll step you up to the next package.
This is so great.
So for the same price, you can step up to more action, step up to more drama, step up to more fun, and get more than you pay for. Just pay for your current package and get upgraded to the next package. Visit your multi-choice office or agent, pay your subscription, and step up.
Ukilipa na M-Pesa, unapata zaidi.
Lipa na M-Pesa.
Uwezo zaidi.
Do more with M-Pesa.
Urahisi zaidi. Matumizi zaidi. Na sasa unaweza kushinda nyumba, tractors na vifaa vyake pamoja na zawadi zinginezo kila siku. Lipa na M-Pesa, buy goods au pay bill. Kila shilingi 100 unayolipia inakupa kiingilio kwenye draw. Lipa na M-Pesa, ushinde sasa.
Naitwa Anthony Muriithi Joe. Leo nikatangaza mshindi wa 100 million. Kwanza mimi ni mkulima. Ninafikiria kupanua ukulima wangu. At least nijenge greenhouse, nitafute maji ya kutosha, kama ni tanki nijenge. Alafu na system ya maji kama ni drip irrigation badala ya hii tunaita overhand. Inakuanga inaharibu shamba na inatumia maji mingi sana. So drip ni unaweka na unaenda kazi zingine na kuta mimea yako iko sawa.
Jiamini leo. Win up to 100 million shillings and realize your dreams. Jiamini, ni wakati wako. Cheza Lotto. Send 50 shillings to paybill 77700. Account name Cast TV. Over 18s only. Gaming can be addictive. Irresponsible. This message has been approved by the BCLB.
Jiamini, cheza Lotto.
Ukilipa na M-Pesa, unapata zaidi.
Lipa na M-Pesa.
Uwezo zaidi.
Do more with M-Pesa.
Urahisi zaidi. Matumizi zaidi. Na sasa unaweza kushinda nyumba, tractors na vifaa vyake pamoja na zawadi zinginezo kila siku. Lipa na M-Pesa, buy goods au pay bill. Kila shilingi 100 unayolipia inakupa kiingilio kwenye draw. Lipa na M-Pesa, ushinde sasa.
Talking points, it's never a dull night here when it's house full. Juma Muricho is back. Cornelius Chepsoe, as always, is here. And Solomon Kuria. We're discussing the BBI, talking about whether we are banning or building bridges. And before we went on the break, you had a burning issue. Ama ime...
The burning issue was my house was on fire. You know,
was on fire.
I've never seen Western united the way I saw it some few days ago. Western was so united, and thanks to BBI, because all leaders, the who's were there.
Yeah.
Except only one person who lost direction and went to Mumias to hold a parallel meeting to plan to ask the government to help us revive Mumias. When the government
there was a challenge
actually
thrown in that unity,
Yeah.
that disband your parties and make one.
And that is what we call unity. These guys are coming together, and BBI is bringing them together. And if there is anyone who wants to use BBI to show political might or to prepare himself for 2022 using BBI, that person is only one, because there's only one person who has declared interest in 2022 for presidency. So he's busy using BBI to marshal his numbers the way he did in 2010, and he marshaled some 2 million and used them to bargain. He's now trying to do the same, so that he marshals some numbers to oppose BBI for no good reason, but just for political gain in 2022. But for these other factions that came together and sat together and reasoned together and said, we need to bring this country together. That is the Building Bridges initiative. They mean goodwill for this country.
I think Muricho doesn't support
for the good of the generation.
Unless you believe anything he said.
Muricho doesn't support
I
BBI.
told you before we went back on air, I've told you don't let him mislead the public, because here is the biggest problem. The only true thing he has said in all that statement is that for once Luhya land was on fire. It was truly burning, because after this they are going to be fighting like nothing else. That fire is real, except the fire is...
And there was tear gas.
It's going to consume the lawyers, as he puts it.
No.
The point is this. First of all, let us dissect this lawyer thing, because it was never about them. The man who went there to popularize himself is the Mr. ODM, where he belongs. You know, my friend Muricho keeps getting confused. He doesn't know whether to speak for the lawyers or to speak for the party ODM, where he belongs. This man believes in Raila so much that in the end, he would not see it any other way. When he says that another man is using it to make numbers, the man himself has said, we are not opposed to BBI, we shouldn't be campaigning for it, because everybody agrees. But the real man who's using BBI to popularize himself is his own man, Raila Amolo Odinga. I mean, you know, I don't support much of what William does. I don't even agree with him politically. But surely, let's give credit where it's due. The man has said, mimi nimekubali hii kitu. Sasa tusiende kila mahali kuhubiri to preach to the choir. Now, my point is very basic. You asked whether this is building bridges or burning bridges. I want to ask you, just look at how the country is today as the result of BBI. And you know now, I think all of you are coming around sooner or later. I think Solomon is the only one who's still farming this thing, in this BBI route. But we all agree that it has, so far, the truth of the matter is that it has caused more disagreements than agreements. It has brought people, it has divided the country more. And even Uhuru, the president himself, said, it is so unfortunate that while we were trying to bring people together, by bad luck, it is actually pushing people
What's the
apart.
problem? Guys, when it was the handshake, there didn't seem to be much of an issue. We even sort of
You know, see the
We
You
even sort
love,
of-
you love your
guys,
peace.
you love it.
love your
We
peace.
even sort of lost the opposition during that handshake moment. Even Kenyans started complaining, hey, ni kama we don't have an opposition. Everyone seemed to be happy in government, supporting the president, doing projects, you name it. Until we said, okay, now we have a task force. Task force went around, collected what they collected, came up, and then they brought a document, which, by the way, even before the document came in, we were busy, you know, suspecting each other about the document. What's going to be in it, what's not going to be in it, what's... By the time it even came out, to many, it seemed like it was a, you know, a watered down document to kind of make sure that both sides were okay with it. So what's the issue? Because the document is not as you said.
I want to say this. One, the reason why BBI seems to be like what Chepsoi is saying is because of people like Moricho. When you focus on communities, I don't think that is what the BBI envisages. You talk about the Luhya unity. Where in the BBI is the Luhya unity?
And yet the document
In the BBI, and you will allow me to finish, in the BBI, as I read it, the 156 pages, don't read the summarized document, read the whole document. It talks about uniting all the tribes of Kenya. And that is why in that stadium, you saw Waiguru, you saw Gilu. In fact, there was no one who was supposed to speak in mother tongue. And if we start there and we say no one is going to address this meeting in their mother tongue, because this is Kenya, we want the whole country to hear whatever we are saying. I would want us even to get to a point whereby we speak like the Tanzanians. There are over 100 tribes in Tanzania. But we all think that they all speak Swahili, which they do. But here in Kenya, for you to be heard by your people, you first speak in your language for them to understand you. But we should start actually acknowledging that we have Kiswahili and English as our national languages. Number two, why we are losing it? I am not of the idea that the opposition leaders should be the ones making a lot of noise in this country. No. In the Constitution, and I want to ask you a question, who is the opposition leader in the United States of America? Who is the opposition leader? Is there oversight in that country? Today they are discussing on how they are going to impeach the president. That is the Congress and the
Senate.
The Senate. Because those are the institutions which have been mandated by the Constitution to oversight the government. Come to our country. We have members of parliament who are controlled by foreigners. Because to me, Raila Amolo Odinga and President Uhuru Kenyatta and Kalonzo Musyoka and Mudavadi
And Ruto.
Forget about Ruto. I'm saying the party leaders.
Yeah.
They are foreigners in parliament.
Don't obsess over
And
it.
you must get that. They are foreigners in parliament. But you find
And there's a majority leader and a minority leader.
from where they sit, they are controlling the parliament. That is what we should avoid as a country. Let us have a parliament that is independent. When the parliament is independent, the president can go work and the parliament can do the oversight.
Okay,
That is where we
this
are.
sounds like lofty ideas. Is that what the BBI document is? Is that an idea that
Chepsoi.
will never come to fruition?
For fairness, I can't be attacked left, right, and center, and you don't give me the right.
I haven't spoken. I haven't spoken.
For fairness.
Please come up, sir. Please come up. Please come up.
The thing is,
yeah.
my friend.
How have you been attacked?
Has given very valid points.
Yeah.
I tend to agree with him.
You told him that the BBI,
There is one thing I-
some of the problems with BBI are people like Moricho. He's-
Luya Unity. These people are disturbing us on Luya Unity. Every day, Luya Unity.
You did attack the guy.
Every
Then-
day, Luya
Solomon,
Unity.
Yeah.
you had your time.
What is Luya Unity?
We want to unite this country.
Yes.
And there is no way we can unite this country if our own houses are divided. You cannot come out and tell us that you people sit down and unite when you are fighting with your own wife in the house. That's why we are saying that as we work hard to unite this country, and that is an agenda of BBI, we have to unite Western also.
No.
And it's already happening because
It's nowhere in the
I
BBI.
saw a party leader of Ford Kenya, a party leader of ANC. I saw Eugene Omalo had a party, although he dismantled.
Yeah, so the point he's making is
so they are
that
coming
they were
together.
not united before.
They were
It
not
has helped them
united
get
before.
on the same
They
page.
are-
And on that
They will
day,
never be.
they
It has
spoke,
helped them get on the
they
same
spoke, they
page.
spoke the same language.
They even drove in the same vehicle.
Yes,
And do the same job.
and gave the people of Western
They have
Yeah.
been
a
speaking
political
about
direction.
Luya Unity since
Number two.
2013 until today. 6 years down the line, they are still telling us Luya Unity. When
But-
that
but
this
what's the
side,
problem? What's the
whatever
problem
this
with that
side,
Solomon
actually that
Korea?
side.
He sees the
No.
rainbow.
Levi,
Guys, give him that benefit of doubt that you
Yeah,
know.
that's fine.
In the
problem
home,
here-
they're trying to get it right before they come out.
No. How?
In Western,
Yes.
there is nothing like the people are united. People are very much united. The problem is our leaders. And what we saw that day was our leaders coming together. What happens in Western is that we are very democratic. I come from Western and I'm proud of my region, that we exercise our democratic right of choosing whoever we want to choose. But our leaders have a problem, and this BBI is bringing them together. And I saw that happening, and I saw them speaking in the same language, that if we go on like this, come 2022, we will be part of the government. And you know, it's been out of government for so long, from independence.
This is so.
And
this
BBI is going to bring
so-
us together. And
This is so
even
dangerous.
Give
This
us
is
a
so
chance.
dangerous.
I just have to ask Mauricio one question before you even say how dangerous it is. I thought NASA did that. Weren't those leaders all in NASA?
I think we were all together, but did we get to government?
Where was Kalonzo?
Our victory was
It-
stolen.
it- so it-
Our
it-
victory
so
was
still-
stolen. So,
okay.
so BBI is
I
going to
must
get us to
forgive
government.
Stolen?
I must, no, hold on. I must
The court
forgive.
said so.
Wait,
We still- we
it's my
still
time
are
to speak.
our election.
I honestly forgive Moricho, and I think the problem is he's been out of the show for a while. This leave has really made him lose traction of this discussion. Hold on,
you
it's
don't
my
want to
time.
brief for me.
I don't. But so I'm speaking. I'm just looking at what might have happened to you while you are away.
Yeah.
Where are you?
While he was away, I must remind him, on top of the BBI document, which I don't believe in, it is written from a nation bound by blood to a nation bound by ideals. When our brother keeps referring to Luya, he's actually referring to the very thing that BBI is founded on.
It's hangover.
This is actually, as he puts it, and for some reason, Solomon today is speaking like the real Solomon in the Bible. Today he's speaking very wisely. My point of view is, can you imagine these supporters of BBI still talking about Luya Unity? When the very document on top of its cover says we want to move away from a nation bound by blood to a nation bound by...
But he said, you know, you have to be united at home before you get out.
No. There's nothing like that.
Please listen.
Do you understand that part at least?
No, that's not what...
That before you
is
step
not
out of
what-
your door,
No.
step out in harmony.
Nothing like that.
You know,
You
step,
cannot
guys.
join Moricho in misleading the nation. You are a moderator. Please
I've just
don't-
said that's what he
do
said.
not
I'm
join
just
the
trying
nation
to
in-
re-clarify his point.
This is why we need this document printed.
Yes.
So everybody can read for themselves and interpret the way they see it. Because, please read it. It says we want to move this country from a country bound by blood to a country bound by
Ideals.
ideals. So to talk about Luya Unity in the first place is to lose the whole
It's an insult.
BBI
It's an
idea
insult.
from the word go. Because this is the reason why Muricho and others, while the ship of BBI is moving, it will even leave them behind. Now, this is why I keep telling you, BBI is a mirage. It will burn more, hold on. BBI will burn more bridges than it will ever. In fact, let's talk about the children
So,
in Mumias
no, let me ask you,
who are crossing the-
what do you expect, Chepsoi, since you are the prophets?
I'm not bitter about anything.
I want to advise Chepsoi to get a copy of BBI.
I have read the whole
He
document.
hasn't read. If he has read, he has not understood. And that is why we
you
are
cannot-
holding meetings
You cannot
across the whole
even, you cannot
country.
even quote the opening like
No, I have to protect Muricho here.
Explain to
Guys,
people
listen.
like Chepsoi who have read and they don't understand.
Yeah. So, Chepsoi, it seems you've taken the position of the prophet of doom, sort of. What do you expect to see on Saturday? What do you think will
In
happen?
Mombasa,
Yes.
nothing will happen. In fact, Mombasa is an anticlimax for so many of the people that Solomon was trying to describe. The ones who were trying to find reason to fight and with the other side. In this case, Tanga Tanga. The people who are trying to ride on the waves of antagonism. Those people are losing. Because the point is, here you have people like Murkomen, who've been loudly speaking out here against it. They are going to go to Mombasa. They will be reduced to nothing. They will be spectators in Mombasa. Same to others. Even Sudi, the one who's saying he's going to become an MC of BBI in Rift Valley, he will be a spectator. Because here is the thing. The president has already chosen his team. You're not going to lie to the president. You know, for me, here is what I think people really lose. I think we have underrated the ability of Uhuru. So many people look at Uhuru and think he doesn't know what he's doing. And you started very well. He invited 24 governors, including Tolgos, who has been fought so badly by Tanga Tanga that they had actually written him off. Now, people like Tolgos have gotten a lifeline. And if you look at the events leading to that Mombasa meeting of governors, look at the appointments, like the ones he was describing, his friend who was appointed. Look at people like Lina Chebik Limu, in places where BBI would not have gone through. What do you think people like Lina are going to be doing in Elgeyo Marakwet? I am telling you, these people in Tanga Tanga are finished. Those guys are slowly being relegated to history. And let me tell you what is going to happen. I don't hold brief for William Ruto and many of others. But I think this is what is happening. William Ruto must be giving up slowly on the idea of presidency for the time being and waiting for BBI to either fail or succeed so that he decides whether he's going to fight for the prime minister position that will eventually be created by BBI or he will fight it out with Raila for president. Because I can assure you, as the things stand today, if everything goes as it is, this BBI will be forced on us. And I'm telling you, even me, I was pro-Punguza. And I can tell you it was in the DNA and the blood of Kenyans. But you must remember what politics does. It is not the vote that
So
matters.
chances are,
it is the person who counts the vote that matters. And as of now,
where
the handshake group have all the power in this country. The rest will be in court fighting cases
Solomon,
left, right, and
You
center.
see, Chepsoi cannot say that BBI will be forced on us. Well, we originated with the document. The BBI task force went across the country. Unlike the Punguza Mzigo guy who sat in his office and prepared.
You know-
No, allow me.
Levi, I want you
Unlike
continue
the-
speaking, but Levi,
No,
we need to invite.
Let him finish, Solomon. Let
We
him
should
finish.
invite.
Chepsoi, let him finish. I'll give you right of
No, I'm
reply.
just saying,
Yes,
we should
yes,
invite
you-
Akuro
you-
Court to speak for himself.
We will invite him.
We should invite him to speak for himself. I am. I still.
I'm saying, unlike a Kuro Oko,
Muricho has found a voice.
unlike a Kuro
On that
Oko
one,
who sat-
absolutely.
who sat in
And-
his office and
Yeah.
prepared a document and came out with it to us, having not consulted anyone. The BBI task force went to all the 47 counties, picked the views of the countrymen and women, harmonized and prepared a document, what we are calling the BBI
Burning
initiative.
Bridges initiative. Yeah.
No,
Sorry,
that is yours. So what I would like to say is this, even if it is forced on us, this is what we wanted. This is our document. We own it. There was public participation. People were asked questions. People raised issues. You can even be clearly to be able to trace that if it is this issue of zebra, you know, if the governor is male, the deputy has to be female. That zebra was brought by the women parliamentarians together with the governor, women governors. Those are the people who brought that to the task force. Look at all the other issues. Look at the issue of tax holiday. It's Wambui Nyoto who presented on behalf of the young people. So you can be able to trace back an issue from the BBI document back to where it originated. So these are Kenyans who spoke. So even if it is forced on us, this is what we wanted to eat and drink.
You know,
I'm going to take a break on that note. I'm going to take a break on that note. We'll be right back after these
it
messages.
started with you.
Taking breaks.
We'll be right back.
It started with you.
No, punguza gunia fegi.
We'll be right back after these messages.
You know, Mauricio, you spoke a lot.